Hey, Bridge City family, and anyone watching online for the first time, I'm really glad you're here. Thank you for taking time, just a few minutes during this holiday season, to pause and to breathe and to reflect with us. So whether this year has been full of joy or full of pressure or anywhere in between, I want you to know this, that God sees you, that you're not forgotten, and that you're not alone. So today, we want to take a look back at what God's done in and through you, our Bridge City family, over these last 6 months. And then we want to look ahead at what I believe He's inviting all of us into as we step into 2026. So whether you're watching from home on the couch or on your computer or wherever you're watching from, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and thank you for being a part of this moment. So let's begin. I want to begin with some celebration because this year has been marked by God's faithfulness and really a lot of that through you, our Bridge City family. So, if you're watching from a distance or checking out Bridge City for the very first time, welcome. You're not behind, you're not outside. There's always room for you in this story. Here we boldly proclaim the good news that Jesus is reigning right now, that He's Lord right now. So every story, every baptism, every victory, every act of generosity, all of it flows from His reign and from His kingdom that is breaking into our lives, transforming us, and in turn transforming everything around us. And you, our Bridge City family, you displayed that in the way that you welcomed new families and people who were searching for hope. And you made room for people who didn't look like you or didn't sound like you and made this church feel like home. And so because of your faith, because of your prayers, because of your invitations and your generosity, we saw people surrendering their lives to Jesus this year. We were able to celebrate baptisms, that sacred moment, where people publicly declare that Jesus is King and that they are in turn aligning their lives under the rule and under the reign of Jesus. 2025 was also a year where you didn't just step into the city, you actually stepped in for the city. Because proclaiming that Jesus is Lord, it's not just something that we say, it's something that we seek to live. Jesus said it this way. He said, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good works and that they may glorify your Father in heaven." And this year, that's exactly what you did. Through the kid-to-kid clothes closet and the ladies that work so fervently back there and the Bread of the Mighty responses, you helped to impact literally thousands of people right here in the Gainesville area by providing much needed clothes for children and food for families in need. And you know what, and I won't really at any time soon forget the way that many of you stepped up to give above and beyond to families who didn't receive their SNAP benefits during this recent government shutdown. Others of you donated and walked with us to support our local community in the Out of Darkness Walk to Prevent Suicide. And I can't forget all of the other areas that we've supported in areas like Anew, which is a ministry that serves women and girls that are overcoming trauma and sexual exploitation. We supported Made for More, who's investing in at-risk boys in the middle school and high school areas. And then the Light of Cambodia, advancing kingdom work globally. And as a church, we support these ministries financially, but we're also praying for deeper involvement in the coming year. So whether you're here in Gainesville or across the world, this is how we let our light shine. And it's how we declare with our lives that Jesus is Lord. But I want you to listen to this very carefully, because the works that we do, they are not the goal. They're the fruit. What we've accomplished in our community this year, in the last 6 months, it wasn't just the result of strategy or planning alone, but we realized that it is the outflow of something that God is actually forming inside of us. Because good works, they're really what righteousness looks like when it becomes visible. The natural expression of a heart that's being shaped by God, a mind that's being renewed by truth, and a life that is transformed by the Spirit. Paul said it this way. He said, "For we are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them." Which means that before we talk about what God is calling us to do in 2026, we really need to talk about who He's forming us to become. And that's more than just attending a church service or believing the right facts, but it's about becoming a people who actually reflect the image and the likeness of Jesus, our King. He is the Lord of heaven and He is the Lord of earth, because everything we do has to flow out of who we're becoming before we can become a church for Gainesville, right? We have to become a people who are formed by Jesus. And this year we took some steps, in that direction. We began with an 8-week boot camp where we went back to the basics of what it means to be saved by grace and through faith. And we learned that there's actually a responsibility to steward the grace that's been given to us. We learned the importance of building in spiritual rhythms of prayer and discipleship, of community and of service. And we are learning to reject this idea of consumer Christianity and to recover a faith that's lived and not just believed. And all of this is part of what we believe is Christ working within us, forming us into a people who live under His lordship. And as we enter into 2026, I believe that God's inviting all of us to go even deeper together, because formation is how we become a people who bring healing. Formation is how we carry the kingdom into everyday life. Formation is how we learn to lift burdens and not add to them. Formation is how we become a people for Gainesville. And through it all, our lives will be proclaiming that Jesus is Lord. So before we talk about some of the details of this coming year, learn this. We are absolutely gathering the first Sunday of the year, and we're going to start out strong. So on January 5th, we're launching a brand new teaching series. It's going to be called What the World Needs Now. And here's a hint. It's more than love, sweet love, right? This series is going to be setting the tone for the entire year. And we're going to speak directly into where we're living, what we're facing, and who Jesus is actually forming us to be. So if you're new or you're just checking us out, this is going to be the perfect moment to jump in. And then on January 11th, we're going to begin 21 days of prayer and fasting. And this is our time to center our year by seeking the Lord together. So we're going to have regular nights of corporate prayer. We're going to have a night of worship and prayer. And we're going to help to build deeper rhythms with Jesus. And none of this is about just trying to fill up our calendar, but it's about helping you and helping all of us to become who Jesus is creating us to be. The other real important shift is beginning January 18th at 9 o'clock. We're going to begin or launch a second Sunday service because of the growth that we've been experiencing in our adult service and also in our kids' church. It's just time to make room. So this isn't about flexibility, it's not about logistics, it's not about optics, it's about creating space for people that God is bringing. More families, more kids, more stories in process, more people discovering Jesus as Lord. And you're part of helping to make Bridge City a church for this entire community, for Gainesville. So also, as we enter into the spring in April, we are planning a marriage weekend together. And it's going to be tied directly into our April teaching series, and it's going to be designed to strengthen our relationships, to bring healing, to restore connection, to give couples a fresh vision for their marriages, because we believe that a healthy marriage actually lifts the burdens off of families, and healthy families lift the burdens off of communities. So if you're preparing for marriage, you want to be married, or if your marriage feels tired or disconnected, or you just simply need some new hope or looking to take your marriage from good to great, this is going to be the weekend for you. But in addition to that, we're going to keep on building environments where Jesus is forming us into His likeness. And one of those areas is with our men's and with our women's gatherings. We're really excited about that. We're going to be pouring a lot into that, and we're going to be pouring everything into our one-on-one discipleship this year. There's also going to be more opportunities to serve and helping to develop better prayer rhythms. And these are real transformations. This is where these things happen. This is where we practice living into the Lordship of Jesus and seeing His kingdom become visible through us. And so there's going to be lots of different opportunities to serve through Kid to Kid, through Bread of the Mighty, through Made for More. What we really want to do this year is, through that life change that we're experiencing, is to help lift burdens within our community. So I want to ask, think about the question, what is God inviting you into as we start this new year? Maybe it's trusting Jesus again in a fresh way. Maybe it's re-engaging in a faith community or serving in places like we said before, our Kid to Kid, our Bread of the Mighty, helping to strengthen our 9 a.m. service. We definitely are going to need help there. Whether it's rebuilding a prayer life or taking a discipleship step or investing in your marriage. For some of you, it simply means just this year, I'm going to be open. I'm going to be open to God. I'm going to be open to hope. I'm going to be open to community. Whatever that next step is, don't let 2026 be defined by what happens to you or by what happens around you, but let it be defined by what Jesus actually does within you. And so as we end this year, here's my invitation. Step into 2026 hungry for the things of God. Step in expectant. Step in united with a church family. And together, let's become the people and the church that King Jesus is forming us to be. Let's be for our city. Let's be a people who restore dignity and bring hope and help lift burdens rather than adding to them. And above all, let's be a people whose lives boldly proclaim that Jesus is Lord. And if you're watching this or you're searching for something real, you're looking, I just want you to know you belong here. Bridge City is a place for people that are in the process, people that are rebuilding, people that are still healing, people that are discovering Jesus all over again, maybe even for the first time. And so to Bridge City family and to everyone watching online, I want you to know we love you. Carrie and I are absolutely grateful for you. Thanks for praying, for serving, for giving, for showing up, for believing this year. And thank you for helping to build something real, something beautiful, and something deeply kingdom. Happy New Year. We're praying for you. I can't wait to step into 2026 with you, with Jesus leading the way, with Gainesville on our hearts, and with a clear and unashamed proclamation from our lips. So we'll see you this Sunday.